Welcome to Village in Motion this Thursday, March 26th. I am Clint Lambert. It's my pleasure to be the host today. And I have with me here in the studio Ron Paterson, who is our Vice President of our Resident Council. And I am so glad to have Ron with us. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning.
You're here, and I thought I was going to get to see Betty this morning, the President. What happened?
Well, maybe some other folks thought that too. Those of you who pick up your schedules, you'll find that for today, Betty Griffin and Ellen Sinclair are supposed to be here to talk about dining. Well, we're not going to talk about dining. They graciously relinquished their time to allow resident council to bring you up to date on some things going on, coming, and things that already are being accomplished. Okay. And so usually this would be something that the president would do, Betty Crispin, but there again, don't jump to any conclusions. Betty has some allergy problems, and sneezing and so forth is something she shouldn't be doing here. So she contacted me and sent me the paperwork and said, take it, and I'm taking it.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're here, and hope that Betty gets better soon in regards to it. What's been happening with resident council? You got a lot of things going on, and I know there's some people you need to say thank you to.
You better believe it. Yeah, your resident council has not shut down. Been very, very active, doing it in some unusual ways. A lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. As a matter of fact, yesterday, the Executive Council, the Treasurer, President, and Vice President, we had a teleconference by phone, the three of us. It worked very well. We're limited to a half hour, so we talked fast and got things done quickly.
So you maintain social distance.
Right. And so essentially, I want today to mention some of the things that are going on, some of the things that council has been informed of and is trying to pass on, and also some projections of some things that might come in the future. Now that's the tricky part, because the stuff we're working on coming in the future, you'll notice I will not put a timeline on. In some cases it's going to happen real quickly. In other cases, maybe not quite so fast. If you're paying attention to TV and if you're watching Congress, for example, you'll find out that things don't exactly run on schedule.
Right. And
so I will not be putting a timeline on some of these things, but you'll be informed just as soon as possible when something does happen.
And especially right now with coronavirus going on, there's no way to put timelines on
Absolutely.
Things. Yeah.
Well, probably the first two words that should be uttered today is thank you. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for staff, administration, residents. We are getting through this. We really are. And as a matter of fact, you may see signs like this. These are available on Grix. And I see a lot of these out. However, a lot of folks are making their own signs, and some of them are very artistic. And I'm kind of amazed. You walk up and down the hallway, which you probably shouldn't be doing, but as you go from one point to another, pay attention. You'll find that a large number are thanking everybody that is making this work.
Yeah, in fact, if you'd slide that over here to me, I want to read this because I don't know if everybody could see it that fast. It says, thank you to all who are coming to work every day, cooking, packing, cleaning, picking up trash, making deliveries, etc. I may not see you in person, but I appreciate all you are doing to keep us as safe as possible. And I think that's extremely important, that we remind people when we see somebody and we stay 6 feet away, that worker is working very diligently to keep us safe, and that is really important.
And they're away from their families doing it.
That's exactly right. A big thank you goes out to all the staff.
Okay, a couple of special thank yous. Obviously to dining. This dining thing is running very, very well. And we're on the plan now. They're coming around food to your door. What better service could you get? Jason and Dakota and those folks and the people in dining need to get special thanks, even though we're not seeing them. The resident council committee chairs and some of the members are also doing a lot of things. Probably the two most active committees are the largest, dining service and also general services. In general services, Marie Lee in particular has been getting a lot of information out that some of you are probably picking up on. So thank you goes a lot of different places.
Yeah, Maria has really been putting stuff out, especially on GRICS, of information that's out there in regards to it. Greatly appreciated.
Okay. Then what kind of planning things? Again, not putting dates on these things. One of the ways that you need to get information around here, like it or not, is in written form. There are other ways as well, but you're going to be receiving soon a short survey. It will be short, it'll be to the point. I know this has happened before, and we've ended up with spreadsheets of all different ways information goes out. But we're developing a short survey you'll be receiving to find out what is the best way to get information to you. So be watching for it, but I can't and won't put a time on.
So that's coming out in the future.
In the future, you got that. A lot of this information comes directly from administration. A lot of telephone calling going on between Chandra and our president, Betty Crispin, and she passes that information along. Department chairs as well. The department chairs and the head of the 8 resident council committees are in communication to keep up with the 8 aspects that the committees cover. And the best thing about all this, of course, is information is coming out there, it's being passed on, and we're trying to figure out the best way to do it to keep the residents informed. One new biggie that's coming, but I can't put a date on just yet, is going to be something called the Floor Captain Program. Those of you who have been at Green Springs 6 years or longer may remember something similar that lasted until about 6 years ago. At that time, I think it was called the Floor Captains Program. It also went by the name of Friendly Neighbors. And essentially, this is a program to make contact with residents on your floor. And so what council is organizing right now, as we are saying here talking about, is to call for volunteers. This went out last night to the 8 committee chairs, and they have passed it on, or will be passing it on shortly, to the committee members.
So they're looking for,
would you believe it, about 60 to 70 people. We would like to have at least 1, preferably 2 people on every floor of all 12 buildings. Do the math, it goes up to about 60 or 70.
yeah.
And the idea is that floor captain, whatever the title may be.
Actually, I think the title now is going to be floor coordinators.
Okay.
Okay.
Whatever.
That's what I understand.
Yeah.
It's floor coordinators.
Something of that nature. Will be asked to make contact at least once a week with everybody on their floor. And that contact, we are saying it cannot be, should not be, go knock on the door and go in there. No, has to be by email and or by telephone. And should the individual be chosen to do that, they'll be provided with that information. Now, I've actually had a couple of folks already contact me. I want to be put on the list. And I had one individual contact me and said, well, gee whiz, that's what I'm doing already. There are 8 people on my floor I regularly go see. And I need to tell her, don't go see them, talk to them.
Yeah, because we still need to maintain the social distance of 6 feet.
And the idea would be, as I say, at least once a week to make a contact and ask, in essence, how you doing? Can I help you with anything? Not to overstep your bounds by saying, oh yeah, I can take care of that if it really needs to be taken care of by general services or something, but at least pass it on to general services. And a lot of folks out there are really by themselves.
Yes.
I have a wife and a dog, takes me a lot of time, takes a lot of time, but to be there behind that door all the time by yourself has to be lonely.
And there's a lot of individuals who live in their apartments by themselves, and they don't have a pet. They have no other responsibilities other than themselves. And, you know, as you said, it gets lonely for people. It really does.
So through the conversations, hopefully anything that needed to be dealt with could be passed on to somebody who could take care of it. Sometimes folks might think, hey, I'm the only one who has this problem. Right. Usually it's not that way.
And so I'm sorry, the floor captain, the floor coordinators then really need to listen when somebody is talking to them.
Right. And make a record of it, where that person also will have some sort of, we haven't developed it yet, a piece of paper that you record what the conversation's all about. And by the way, this isn't unique. Amazingly enough, and I'll just throw this in, I had a phone call 2 days ago. I belong to a fraternal organization for over 40 years. I don't go very often, once or twice a year. I got a phone call from somebody saying, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
Amazing. I just, so this, you may get some of these calls from other organizations, your church, whatever, that it is a common thing right now. It was at Green Spring. And by the way, this program, kind of program, is already operating in other areas and communities. The one in Michigan, I forget the name of it.
Fox Run.
One of the ones in Massachusetts, Brooksby, whatever. They have this program and are working with it. And again, our president, Betty Crispin, is in constant contact with them. And they have passed on the information and gave us a lot of the ideas.
Wonderful. Now,
how does a person get this important task? Well, we're going to ask for names, and we're going to ask for those fairly quickly. We will then, we mean the resident council executive committee, we'll go through those, not together in the same room. We'll figure out how to do it, and locate individuals that seem to have the experience here. If they're already on a committee, that might be a plus in their hat. If they have been here a fairly long time, it might be more valuable than somebody moved in last week kind of thing. But we will then select some individuals. Now, what happens if we get 4 people on the same floor? Hey, we still have your name. There are a lot of other volunteer activities around here you can get involved with. Right. And so if you can't do this one, there's probably another one you can do someplace else.
But the thing is, right now, you want as many people as possible to volunteer, right?
Right, and you will be given the information. The committee chairs got something to mail out to members of the committee, and I assume that a lot of those people receiving it have sent to that committee chair. But that's only under 200 people. And a lot more of you here might be interested. And so we're suggesting that you contact one of the 3 of us, myself, Betty Crispin, or Phil Scanna. We're all in the phone book. Information will be available, how to contact either by email or by phone. I appreciate phone calls, however, being from like 9 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. You can call me at 2 in the morning and I will answer, but yeah, seriously. The information is on your screen now of how to contact us.
And a picture of Ron, and the information on Ron's there as being the vice president. We also have information about Bill Scianna, who is the secretary, how to contact him with his apartment, his phone number, and his email address. And, contact these people. And then we also have the information about Betty Crispin, who was on earlier, who's the president, about how to contact. But if you have a question of how to contact the members of the Executive Council, check the phone book. Give people a call. Ask people how to do it.
Now, how quickly will we get back to you? As quick as possible. Well, I'm not putting the time on, but it will be soon. We want to get this thing moving quickly.
Good.
Now, in the meantime, let's see, that pretty well covered. That's one of the main things we wanted to bring out here today. That's one of the main reasons I'm here instead of dining. I'd like to point out some of the things that folks are already doing. We already mentioned this thank you poster. That came from a resident, Sharon Dreyer. And she puts it out there, and as I say, if you are not artistic, don't want to make your own sign,
Right.
I suggest you put that up. Write notes on there, sign it, put on it so it doesn't have to be just the point.
But it's really nice, though, that when we do go down the hall, and we're really not encouraged to go down the halls, but when you do go down the hall, just to see the thank you signs that are up, regardless of whether they're this particular one or other kinds of signs, but to thanking the staff and all the work that they've done.
Right. And if you are in a volunteer, I guess we call it essential volunteer position, continue doing that. These guys on the cameras today, thank you. Thanks for being here. Other places where people are residents are doing volunteer work, as much as possible, continue to do that if it's the kind of thing that can be done. If not, get to something else. There are going to be some other things available.
Yeah, I don't think people realize this in regards to the cameramen. We have 3 cameramen here today within the studio, and then we have 2 residents that are out in the control rooms, as well as the 2 staff members that are there. So, I mean, we have a lot of people who are volunteered to come in and work that are not receiving any pay for it, but yet they're providing a service, and we need to say thank you to them as well.
Interviewers as well. So something else, which is quite simple. The telephoning or the emailing is great. That's not to keep you from contacting other residents, other neighbors, other places. If you want to call somebody that you ordinarily eat with, that's not on your floor, and you're not one of these folks making those kind of calls, do it. I'm sure a lot of you are phoning relatives or getting phone calls from them, particularly outside the area, wondering what in the world are you doing? I know some folks, children are demanding they leave here. That'd be the worst thing they could do.
Exactly.
But seriously, use that phone. Call folks, email them, find out how to do it.
And I'd point out to people is, remember, the phone does not cost us anything. We have local, long distance, and international calling free. So make those contacts with people. Let them know that you're okay and find out how they are.
When Betty Crispin passed on some information, and she decided not to be here because of her allergies, she gave me some paperwork here I'm going through, and she had a whole list of suggestions of things to do in your spare time. If you are living the Green Spring lifestyle, you probably don't have much spare time. You should be busy. Well, right now, a lot of that's wiped out. So some of you may be sitting there watching TV or whatever and say, what else can I do? Well, a couple of things I'll throw in here from her list. Clean out that drawer, that desk drawer or whatever that you've been wanting to do that.
Or the closet.
Or your closet. Read a book. I just finished a book I got Christmas time, and wouldn't have been done as quickly if this hadn't been going on. Exercise. Yeah, I know, the fitness center isn't open, but that doesn't mean you can't exercise, do normal things in your room. A lot of things on TV as well.
Yeah. I'd say on Channel 1960, you've got the exercise program that's being shown, so utilize it.
Movies, now you probably have seen that costs cannot show, because of copyright reading, can't show first-run movies. But a lot of movies on TV. I mean, if you get TV Guide Sunday, it's amazing how many movies are on. And sometimes I look and it's like a 1940s movie and it has John Wayne in there or something. I wonder what that was all like then. So call somebody, as I said, that you particularly haven't talked to them in a long time. Hey, sleep in. Forget the alarm clock. Get up later.
It was kind of nice this morning that my dog decided to sleep in this morning. He usually is up early.
Crossword puzzles. What about trying some writing of memoirs, whatever? Have you ever thought, I'd like to tell my grandchildren this. I'd like them to know this information, how my husband and wife met or whatever. I'm not sure I ever told them. Write it down. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is we have the Memories publication. This would be an excellent opportunity to write memories.
Yep, get them stocked up. Cause so I won't through this entire list, but those are a lot of things that she has suggested. Main thing is to stay healthy, stay safe, wash your hands, stay 6 feet away, don't go outside unless you really have to, and stay healthy. and we'll get through this thing.
Right. Well, you know, there's two people you didn't mention that I think people need to know about, and that is if you're interested in joining GRICS, which a lot of people are members of, and they listen to one another. They put things online in regards to it that stays within Green Spring, and that's Al Poland and Gil Herring, excuse me. But Gil Herring, H-A-R-I-N-G, and Al Poland, P-O-U-L-I-N. Both of them are in the phone book. Look them up, give them a call, send them an email, and tell them you want to join GRICS. Another great way to communicate and find out how people are doing and let them know how you are in regards to it. Any other comments?
I think that's pretty much it. Just, as I say, stay healthy and
Okay.
do what you're told to do. As an ex-teacher, I used to tell kids that. Well, now I need to tell adults that as well.
There you go.
Don't flaunt it. Don't, you see on TV people flaunting the rules, and they're just going to make it worse for everybody.
Right. But we're glad, Ron, that you're here. We're glad you're healthy and safe, and that your family is also.